Well, welcome back to our coverage of the Champions League. PSG at home in Paris, playing Benfica tonight. That's after a 1-1 draw against the same team in Portugal last week. Only 1 point between the top three teams in this Group H. PSG, though, coming into this game rocked by news that has been reported about their star man, Julian Mbappe. We're going to show you now the front page of the Parisian newspaper today, with the headline that reads, Mbappe really wants to leave PSG in January, thunderbolt in Paris. We can give you a bit more context in English as well. Our very own French journalist, Julian Laurent, posted this on his Instagram, saying, Kylian Mbappe wants to leave PSG in January, 5 months after signing his new 3-year deal in Paris. He feels that the promises made to him by the club have not been kept, and he has had enough. We can bring in Julian live with us now to talk a little bit more about this. Julian, if it is confirmed, if it's true, it's a huge story, right? What is the story from your perspective, and how did you learn about it?
Yeah, we were told today, this afternoon, and the story is that he's unhappy, very unhappy. As you saw on the post, that the promises that were made to him by the club, the project that he was sold by the club, that hasn't been kept. They said they would sign a number 9 in the summer, so he would play off that number 9 with Messi. There would be no Neymar. They would sign a centre-back. He would be at the centre of the project, and none of the things have happened. So I think that, on top of the tension that we saw in recent weeks, has got us to this point where he's decided now, and usually when Kylian has something in his mind, he's so stubborn that you can't change his mind, and he's decided that he wanted to leave as soon as possible, which will be in the January transfer window.
Okay, so let me bring in Thierry here. How does this story hit you?
Personally, well, I'm okay. But I wanted to... No, I mean, personally, I'm okay. But, Julian, I wanted to ask you something. For me, it's very important. I know you're talking about they didn't meet his demands. So, personally, I don't know what he was demanding, right? Because I wasn't in the room when he was demanding it or what they were saying. Do you think that for the first time he's in a position where he's a bit exposed in terms of what he doesn't like to do in the game? Because when you are versatile, unfortunately, you are he's the only one in that team that can play as a 9 to free the others. But is it not also the true essence of a great player to be able sometimes to accommodate to what the boss wants and to make others shine?
Yeah, I think you're right. And that's at the heart of the problem. I think there's a lot of people around the club and around within the team even who say, I mean, come on, this is not Stoke City's Tony Pulis. You know, they're not hoofing the ball at you and you play on your own up there and then you never get the ball. He's scored more goals at this stage this season than last season. He's got Messi and Neymar behind him. He's got a system that he's also made with wing-backs to suit him and to create chances for him. And yet, you're right, he's not happy. I think the lack of sympathy from some of the fans is exactly that point. Like, come on, surely you should be happy about what you have. His point of view is very much, this is not my best position. I can play there and I do well there, but I would rather play off a striker with more freedom, like Messi and Neymar have behind me. And he said that he was promised in the summer that they would sign a number 9. They tried Lewandowski. He only wanted Barcelona. They tried Scamacca, could not find an agreement with Sassuolo. They signed the young Ekitike, who's good but not ready. So he has to play that, like you said. And maybe he should be happy with that. I don't know, but certainly the feeling he has right now is that the promises were not kept and he's made his mind up and he wants to go.
So, Thierry, is that what you think it comes down to, that Mbappe doesn't like the position he's playing in?
No, we know he doesn't like it. And I think, like I was saying, nobody likes to be exposed to what you're not good at. You just don't like it. But there is something that's bigger than anyone else, is the club. But did they make him feel that the club was the most important thing, or they make him feel that he was more important than the club? Mm-hmm. And I think at one point for me, and I will use my own stories, and I know you guys will understand, I didn't like to play high and wide at Barcelona. I hated it. But I had to do it for the team. I didn't like, after 100 caps and I don't know how many goals I played, and I scored, sorry, for France, 51, I had to go and play on the left. I didn't hear anyone saying, oh, what a nice gesture to go and play on the left for others that are less goals than me and less caps. But at one point, I always remember there's only one rule. The boss is asking you to do something, you do it for the good of the team. and your team is winning. If your team was losing, I would have understood the argument.
So do you blame the club for actually almost, it felt to me on the outside in the summer, it almost like they didn't make Mbappe the star of the team. It was almost like he felt like he was the director of football. It was almost like he was choosing the coach. He was talking about players coming in. Are you saying that there's actually being given too much power by PSG because they were that terrified of losing him?
Understand me well, Jamie. I actually don't know what they promised him. I don't know because from the outside, it looks like he never heard a no in his life. It looks like. And I don't like to speculate. What I can talk about is what I see. And what I see is sometimes when you are versatile, and we mentioned it, you know, you will not ask Alan to play on the left, would you? Or on the right, or Shearer, or Papin, or whoever to go back, Julian. You wouldn't, because you know they will not perform. We all know that. But this guy is like, okay, I'm versatile, I can be there, but I'm not at the position where I can excel. And then now, people are sometimes having a go at me when they're not actually realizing that my movement are allowing those two guys to play better in midfield. But is that what you have to do for your team to play better? Yes, that's the only thing. Will you be upset after games? Will you not sleep well sometime after games? I've been there. It's unknowing. Jamie, you played right back. Did you like it?
No, we've all been there as players, and at times you do have to do it for the team. It's how long it lasts.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, the thing I have is that, why is this coming out as well? This thing about coming out, they've got a Champions League game tonight. Things like this. I just think for me, Mbappe, I think we all love him as a player. He's amazing. But there's too much ego, power for a 24-year-old player who is one of the best players in the world, but it's too much for a young player. And I think he needs, as Thierry just rightly said there, someone needs to just tell him no.
So let me go back out to Julian one more time, because Julian, it's not the first time that we've heard stories of Mbappe wants to leave the club, right? How genuine do you think this is? What's the likelihood, do you think, of him actually going in January? And is Real Madrid then the obvious candidate for him to move to?
That he wants to leave, there's no doubt at all. This is, again, we've been told, and it's not just me, it's a lot of media and a lot of people. So this is definitely the reality right now. What can happen in January, we don't know yet. I mean, he would cost a lot of money, of course. 200 million euros, probably around that, maybe a little bit less.
More.
But PSG are in a strong position in a way because, as we said, he signed that 3-year deal. It's a 2+1, but he's only 5 months into a 2-year deal. So if he really wants to push for a move in January, they would be able to fix the price, and then whoever pays, then would be in to sign him. But Real Madrid, I think, is still his preference, of course. I think they have the money, but would they be ready to pay that in January when they could have had him for free 5 months ago if he hadn't made the mistake of extending his deal at PSG? I don't know. English clubs, of course, I think he really liked Liverpool, but they can't afford him right now. I mean, they could not pay the transfer fee and the wages. Let's not forget that he's the highest paid footballer in the world right now. So there's a lot of if, and there's a lot of numbers, but he's certainly going to push for a move in January. So let's see who can afford him.
All right, Julian, good to have you with us. Thank you very much.
Merci.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys.
Merci.
Merci beaucoup.
All right, OK, so Mbappe, obviously one of the shining lights of the Champions League, isn't he? Last week, we had Lionel Messi, Erling Haaland, Dusan Vlahovic and Vinicius Jr. all amongst the goals. Who is going to shine on the big stage today? Stay with us. We've got much more Champions League ahead for you.
50 goals, TT, not 51. 50.